Have you ever had your colonoscopy doctor recognize you from Grindr? The anesthesia was just starting to hit when Dr. Morrison walked in, and I knew instantly we were both screwed. His face went from professional to panicked in about 2 seconds. We'd been messaging for 3 weeks under very different names. Him as Tennis Doc 44, me as Bookish Bear 35. We'd exchanged photos that carefully cropped out faces, but apparently not careful enough about hiding distinctive tattoos. Mine, a quote from Whitman running down my ribcage, was now fully visible thanks to the hospital gown. "Mr. Peterson," he said, voice pitched too high. "I'm Dr. Morrison. I'll be performing your procedure today." His hands were shaking as he reviewed my chart. The nurse, bless her, didn't notice anything wrong, but I did. This was the man who'd sent me paragraphs about his favorite hiking trails and what he wanted to do to me on them. Very detailed paragraphs, with diagrams. "Actually," he said suddenly, "I just remembered I have a conflict. Dr. Patel can handle this." But Dr. Patel was already in surgery. The head nurse, Barbara, who'd probably seen everything in her 30 years, narrowed her eyes. "You just said your morning was clear." The anesthesiologist had already started the drip. I was getting loopy, but still conscious enough to be mortified. "It's fine," I slurred. "He seems very professional." The next 20 minutes were the most professionally awkward of both our lives. He performed the colonoscopy with the clinical detachment of someone defusing a bomb. I was high enough to find it hilarious. "You know," I said, though it probably came out as gibberish, "this isn't how I pictured our first date." Barbara definitely heard that. She looked between us with the expression of someone solving a murder mystery. When I woke up in recovery, there was a different doctor explaining my results. Clean bill of health, some dietary recommendations, follow-up in 5 years. Standard stuff. But tucked under my discharge papers was a note. "I'm transferring to the downtown location. This never happened. But also, Coffee Tuesday? Morrison. You can call me Keith now." Barbara was my discharge nurse. She'd figured it out completely. "Honey," she said while checking my vitals, "I've been here since 1987. You're not even in the top 10 weirdest Grindr situations I've witnessed in this department." She paused. "Though you're definitely top 5 for handling it well. That man nearly fainted when he saw your tattoo." I did meet Keith for Coffee Tuesday. We dated for 6 months. It was going great until we ran into Barbara at Whole Foods. She looked at our joined hands, looked at Keith, and said, "Glad to see you found a less invasive way to get to know each other." Keith turned red. I laughed so hard I dropped the organic kale. The relationship didn't survive the constant colonoscopy jokes from both our friend groups. The best part? Keith had to report the conflict of interest to the medical board. They have an official form for treating someone you've had intimate contact with. He had to check prospective rather than actual intimate contact, which apparently required a different form and a longer explanation. The board member reviewing it couldn't stop laughing. It's now used as a training example for maintaining professional boundaries, with identifying details changed. My next colonoscopy is in 3 years. I'm switching to the downtown location, not because of Keith, he moved to Seattle, but because Barbara retired and started a TikTok where she tells anonymized stories about hospital life. I'm living in fear of becoming content. She already has 2 million followers. Her series on When Grindr Goes Medical is very popular. Keith texted me last month. He's engaged to a lawyer he met at a conference. "No medical procedures required," he wrote. "I'm dating a chef now. We met at a cooking class, fully clothed, no anesthesia involved." Though he did laugh when I insisted on seeing his medical license before our first date. "Just checking you're not a gastroenterologist," I explained. He thought I was joking. I absolutely wasn't.